Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're doing the reading section for the CELPIP test. I'm Scott from HZAD Education, so let's get into it. Now, for the reading section, there are 4 parts. Each part has an assumed amount of time, so you must be mindful of the time. Part 1 is 10 minutes. Part 2 is around 8 to 10 minutes. Let's add that in there. 8 to 10 minutes. Part 3 is about 10 minutes as well. Reading information, and part 4, 12 minutes. So in total, you're looking at about 40 to 50 minutes. Depends on how fast you can skim read, and depends on your overall comfort level with the questions. So today you're going to follow me, a native English teacher, and we will do the test together. Let's begin. Part 1 has a section for reading. So this can be an email or a letter. And then down below, we have lots of questions. But I'm going to suggest you read the questions first. Then you know exactly what to look for in the passage. So the first question says, Jason Hurley is sending the letter to. Okay, we just need to know the recipients. The purpose of the letter. Now, they talk a lot about being resigned, but we must know who he is telling that he will resign to. 3, Jason sincerely hopes that his new job will. Okay, so provide executive, financial, meaningful. We're looking for some keywords like that. Which of the people Jason Hurley would like to invite? Which of the people would he like to invite? So the director, his colleagues, his coordinate, team members. We're going to look for keywords like invite, I invite you, I welcome you. Number 5, what was the best period of his career? Okay, so this will be something like a highlight or the most memorable experience. Look for keywords like that. Okay, let's begin reading together. I'm going to read out loud. However, when you read in your head, you naturally read much faster. So this will take maybe a minute longer than it would in the test. And I always suggest practice speed reading a lot at home. It'll greatly reduce the stress that you have during the test because you go faster. So let's read. Dear friends, as a number of you already know, I have recently accepted a position with another company and will be leaving at the end of the week. Please consider this to be my sincere goodbye to each and every one of you. I want you to know that I am truly leaving here with mixed feelings. Happy about my career opportunity, but sad to be leaving such a great company where I have had so many wonderful friends and colleagues. The last 3 years as a member of SysTech team was the best period of my career so far. Ooh, the best period of my career. That's a highlight. Whether it was me teaching you guys how to be creative while juggling multiple big projects at once, or you teaching me how to take things more lightly, it was always a memorable experience. I learned a great deal and worked with many people with whom I am sure I will remain friends with for a long time. I can only wish that my new job will give me such a rewarding experience and supportive friends, though I seriously doubt that. Not only is the social nature of our work something I hold dearly, it is also the tons of career related knowledge and experience that I have gained, which will enable me to shine in my future endeavors. Thank you so much for making my time at SysTech truly enjoyable. I invite any of you who would like to keep in touch, any of you, to speak to me before I leave on Friday, and I would be happy to give you my new phone number and email address. My very best wishes for the future go out to each and every one of you. Yours sincerely, Jason. Okay, already we have some idea of answers because we looked at the questions. Jason Hurley is sending this letter to. Now, he says, dear friends, but he sends it out to all of the people that he worked with. My sincere goodbye to all of you. we can gather from the context. He doesn't really say, he talks a lot about like, you have taught me, I have taught you. So we know it's not his client and we know it's not his boss. So the best fit here is his colleagues. And remember, it's pronounced colleague, not colleges. Colleagues. The purpose of the letter. So he resigned, but he did not resign for his boss because that's not who the letter was directed to. Potentially B could be correct because he did resign. Not to his clients and not to his employees. So if you got question 1 wrong, then you likely would get question 2 wrong. If you got question 1 right, then it's easy to get question 2 right. The purpose is to tell his colleagues that he is resigning. Jason sincerely hopes that his new job will. He doesn't talk about an executive position. He briefly mentions opportunities, but not financial support. New career opportunities? Well, no, because he's already landed the job. He's already secured that job. So we could cross out these. However, he does talk a lot about rewarding experiences. That's the same as meaningful experiences. Bingo. Question 4. Which of the people would Jason Hurley like to invite? Okay, so we already saw the word invite, and the email is to all of his colleagues. Let's see. I would like to invite any of you to keep in touch with me. Any of you is the subject, the people that he is speaking to. So he would like to invite any of his colleagues. 5. What was the best period of Jason Hurley's career? Okay, this one is a little bit, we have to read more between the lines. We could just assume that the best part was not when he wrote this letter, and he did not say that. Now, he's talking about his past career. So receiving the new position, that's his future career. Now we have 2 good options. The relationships with his colleagues or being a team member. Now, the second paragraph is quite emotional. I'm leaving here with mixed feelings. I had so many wonderful friends. Those are relationships. Best period of my career so far. Memorable experiences. So we get the impression that his best experience was the relationships he had with colleagues. I taught you, you taught me. Being a team member is okay, but it's the relationships that made it the best. Good. Now we're going to read a response to Jason from, I don't know, it doesn't say who it is from. So Jason is writing a letter, and we need to choose the correct answer based on the context of the letter and the letter above. So they do relate. We just want to say congratulations for accepting the new job. We couldn't be more to see your success come to fruition. So this is a very positive sentence. Proud, positive statement might be correct. Flushed does not work because that's similar to embarrassed. Concave, no, that doesn't fit grammatically here. And curious, they don't ask a question. So proud seems the most fitting. We remember the last We did a great job working at SysTech team. Okay, SysTech team is telling us something. Project position, community enterprise, team conference. Nowhere in the previous article did they talk about team conference. So we're just going to say no. Enterprise, they did not ever talk about an enterprise, so we can't infer that from here. So project or position. And we did a great job. Okay, so this was a job working on a team, but they are talking about something they did as a group, not what position they had in the group. So here they are talking about the project. You had better experience to tackle any with your multitasking something. Okay, 2 questions. Conflict, difficult, massive projects, new experiences. Now, he did not talk about conflict, so let's take that out. Difficult tasks could be. New experiences, perhaps no, because he didn't mention that. So, difficult tasks or massive projects. Do you remember up here, he did talk about creating multiple big projects at once. Multiple big projects. That's another word for massive. So, does it work? Does it fit? You had a better experience to tackle massive projects with your multitasking. Okay, and that fits in the sentence. Your multitasking knowledge, skills, talent, intention. Skills is used more commonly, but before we highlight it, let's just double check. Multitasking knowledge, that's not a thing. Multitasking talent can be a thing. Multitasking intention, not really a thing. So skills or talent. Now here they are talking about his experience tackling massive projects. So he has the skill to do it. So skill works the best here. But just be careful because these are very similar. Moving down, we thank you so much. We would like to talk to you before you leave. When does he leave? Let's find out. Talk to me before Friday. So we don't know what day it is, but Friday is the end of the week. So before you leave, the last day of the week, that's Friday. Okay, we finished all of part 1, and that took us 11 minutes. Perfect. 10, 11 minutes. That's excellent. Now we're going to move on to part 2. In part 2, we have to look at the different phone providers or the different phones and judge their character. Down below, they're going to ask us questions. So this is an email, presumably, an email from Paul Jones. And Paul Jones is going to talk about the phones. Now it's our job to look at the phone specs, like their specifications, and complete the paragraph according to. For now, I'm not going to read this because it has no question. Let's save time. If you are looking for a good height, look no further than since even the width is quite significant. Okay, which phone has the best height? Sang and Click have the same 5.7 inches, but they also talk about the width. So which one has more width? The Click. The Click is superior with height and width. So that's our answer. The Click. Okay. However, if you feel that the color choices are a lot, limited, white, different, then go for Now, where they have some color options here, the Sang has more color options. The Click has only 2. So actually the Sang has the most options. So the Click, remember we're talking about the Click. Question 1 and question 2 would be the same topic. So the click has a limited number of color choices compared to the saying. So if you feel that the click has limited choices, then go for the saying. It has the most color options. If you ask me, I particularly found chloro to be the most interesting since it stands out from the others on loudspeaker, noise cancellation design, width and color, height, and color. Okay, so we need to find out which is the most superior for chloro. So chloro, dun, dun, dun. Well, it has the greatest width and pounds weight. It's actually quite heavy. Wow. Okay, so it has the greatest weight and the greatest width. And color, it has 3 colors. So width and color. Width and weight. Loudspeaker, width and... It stands out because of its width and color or height and color. Which one is more superior? Width and color, weight and color. Now, I'm going to say that the width stands out more because actually having a heavy phone is not a good quality. So that's actually a negative feature. But having more width is good. So, width and color. Yeah, I had to think about that one. And the height is not very high. One last thought I wanted to share with you is that you can look at the further model options when it comes to which one has more options, further options. You could look at further options. So let's see, which one has more options? The only thing I'm seeing is that on the click it says on certain models. That's the only phone that mentions other models. And that would make sense. Further model options. Okay, so it has to be the click. The click is the only one that mentions other options. And I'm not going to read this part, but we might need that later. Okay, so now we are going through some questions. We didn't read the introduction paragraph and we didn't read the conclusion paragraph. Keep that in mind. Now, you may not need it, but in these questions, 6, 7, and 8, you might need it. So just remember to go back and read those if it becomes an issue. Question 6. Paul deeply admires Scott, is nervous, wants him to do his best, explains way too much. He never talked about any type of love or admiration. And in fact, I think we might be missing somewhere where it says like, Dear Scott. We didn't learn that that was his first name. There was no indication that he was nervous. He just casually talks about the phone. So, does he explain way too much? Or does he want him to do his best? I'm going to skim read the first and last paragraph. I hope I have done my best to satisfy your requirements. Okay, so we hadn't read that previously, but upon reading it now, I feel like this would be the best answer. He wants him to do his best. Or Paul wants himself to do the best. The cell phone project is non-business, needs to be done to keep his job, critical for business, hard on research. Let's see. Did they talk about this being their project? I'm looking for some type of indication that this is either for work or not for work. So we do have sale numbers. Briefing you on Monday. Summary for your personal cell phone options. Ooh. So it appears that they are colleagues. However, Paul is now giving him help on his personal phone options. They're having a non-work related conversation. So, non-business matter. Interesting. Number 8. What kind of business person do you think Mr. Hernandez is? Now we're going to assume that his last name is Hernandez. Yes. I think we were missing this section, but it would look like this. So, is Hernandez strict, successful, thorough, bad? Never did they mention anything about being very strict or very bad. This is quite a peaceful conversation, not interrogative. So, successful or thorough? Now, I've seen this sentence a few times, and it seems like it's a very successful sentence. But maybe he could still be thorough. We've got tight deadlines. I've done my best to satisfy you. No, that's more on the Paul side. Mm-hmm. So I'm not seeing much about Scott being thorough, because it is Paul who is being thorough with his details. So we could assume that Scott is successful. That seems okay. Click and click. Awesome. That was part 2. I think that took us 10 minutes, maybe 9 minutes as well. So we are right on track, because that will take 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, we are doing well. Let's continue.